world? Welcome to Up Next. Now, you already know that this is the segment where we tap in with the dopest artists out right now. And we got somebody really special tonight. MK, tell them who we got.
Yo, I'm so excited. Our girl Nicole joining us all the way from the Netherlands. Shout out to our Rock Nation family.
So I want to hop in. First, I want to see, so you are currently in Amsterdam right now, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from the Netherlands.
You're from the Netherlands? So were you there before all of COVID started, or did you go back home afterwards? Like, were you in the States before COVID started?
Yeah, I was there February. And, I think everybody took it so lightly. But when we came back home, my best friend Precious, she's my business partner as well for over 10 years. And we looked at each other and we had to come back to LA actually. And I said, I feel like something is gonna go very, very wrong. And I said, I'm just gonna cancel everything. So I actually canceled all my appointments and my flights back.
Oh, wow.
Come to figure, weeks later, Trump was like, nobody's getting in. And I was like,
Thank God. I got out of there. Well, how have you been staying occupied? What is the climate over there right now when it comes to COVID and stuff? How are people wearing, we're right now in Florida and we're mandated to wear masks. We are opening back up finally, but
With regulations and restrictions.
Sometimes it's hard to see how it is in other places and what's happening in other parts of the world.
I do have to say it's pretty similar. The only thing that's not similar is you guys are going up again with the numbers. Mm-hmm. And we've had a very great spiral down, but because everything is opening and people are acting like they're animals and don't have sense and go outside and, don't really think about what we're trying to avoid, I see a lot of people cluttering again. And I was like, well, I think we're going to follow that whole curve up, back up. But you have to wear masks and stuff, yeah.
Well, I don't know what you know about Florida, but people don't listen to nothing here, so we know how that goes. We're like infants alone. You already know it's going to be like Florida man something, and then a crazy story proceeds. It's just all bad.
How could that the memes?
Right.
That's us.
That is us. Well, a lot of what we've been doing is talking to all types of artists and musicians, and we want to understand, with the way things are, there's obviously no touring, there's no concerts. For some in the beginning, it was hard to get into studios and things. So how have you been staying active in
just staying inspired
sure. while this time is happening?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. I have to say that because I've produced for so long, it was always a dream to build a studio, which actually came to pass last year, September.
Oh,
so
congrats.
As I was building my studio in the city here in Amsterdam, I was just making sure that, laying down my floor, painting the walls and all that kind of thing. So when December hit, the studio was finished. So when everybody was like, you guys are not going to tour anymore, I was like, yes. The studio.
Don't threaten me with a good time. That's super dope.
So have you been doing a lot of creating during this time? And since now the studio's finished, you're pretty much in your own sanctuary.
Yes. And it's a lovely place and it's open 24/7. So you're not obligated or, depending on somebody else, which is really great. Next to that, I've been actually working on sample packs because I feel like there are not enough females making sample packs. And having been, a producer for 10 years, I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to have female sample packs more out there? So I was already working on that, and I'm finishing obviously a new album as well.
So you talk about you were a producer before you were a performing artist.
No, I was a performing
Are you always doing both?
Artist first, yeah.
So how do you feel about is there one that you enjoy more, producing or performing? Is there one you prefer, or is it just all love?
I have to say, I love being alone, and I love to be in a place where I can close the door and don't have to be among people. But then when I hit the live and I have the fans, I'm like, oh, you guys are so, sweet, have great energy. But I'm a bit of a lone summer. I don't really mingle, so I have to say I prefer producing right now.
I like that. I feel
Right.
that. I'm actually getting into a little bit of myself, trying to get my DJ on another level. So I love that. That's why I ask questions like that. So, just a little bit of background about, her and I. We work for the radio station. We with iHeart. We do a lot of things like this. So I remember when you came out, it was just like you heard it one day and then it was everywhere. Like it took off like wildfire. Like you couldn't even stop it. And the sample is crazy. Like everything about the record is so, like, I'm a hip hop head. So me hearing that just before I even heard your voice on it and a woman flipping that, I was like, this shit is fire. So how did that take on a whole life of its own? Like it just went crazy. Talk to us about you.
That's a whole story, but I have to shout out DJ Enough, Hot 97. Nobody knew I was signed by Rock Nation, and the team and we made the song, I think, in 2017-ish, in August. And December, Rock Nation, one of the A&Rs, you discovered the song, and I think 7 months later I was signed, but we decided to not tell anybody. So I'm from the Netherlands, obviously, and everybody was like, we're gonna just build and see what happens. But I remember that the president, he sent it out the songs to all the DJs just to marinate them a little bit, I think. I don't know what the mindset was behind it, but again, I'm not from America, so I don't really know how it works. Mm-hmm. And then I think Wu-Tang had a 25-year celebration as the Yeah, exactly. And DJ and I was like, waiting on a label.
Press play on that thing.
Yeah.
So it was previously released before it was blasted out to the world. It was out. You had released it already.
Wow. It wasn't nowhere. It was only on the radio for almost 3 months. People could find it in December, and they were already playing it in September, and everyone was shazamming it, but nobody could find
it. I know it's definitely one of my favorite records. It just has so much soul. Your voice is it's what I like about it is you have like a grit, but it's like butter at the same time. It's like a mixture of both. I guess, who are some of your inspirations before I tell you when I first heard it, who I thought what you sounded like?
You'd probably be right, but what we did with this album is, I'm from the generation where you really appreciate, everyone that came before you. So if I have to say Alicia Keys, Lauryn Hill, Destiny's Child, that's my generation. Like that was the biggest inspiration. Jill Scott, Leela James,
right.
Music Soul Child, that whole neo soul, the roots, like that was my main inspiration. My dad introduced me to Sade, Bob Marley. I was raised in church, so a lot of gospel music. But we decided with this album to actually pay tribute to everybody that inspired me. So to start with the list, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill, Destiny's Child, Sade, Alicia Keys, Jill Scott, Leela James, man, the list goes on. And Mary J. Blige, Nas, there were so many tributes on the whole album. So sometimes you'll hear like, oh my God, that's Sade, but it was done on purpose just to shout them out in a musical way.
Wow.
Now, do you produce the tracks on your album, or do you work with other producers, or what is on the production side? What does that look like?
I co-produce everything. So the main producer was Needles. He main produced everything, and TL Cross, a songwriter from New York. He also produced 2 songs, and I'm responsible for actually every song. So I was involved musically, playing piano, playing guitar, choosing if to bend it to the right, to the left, in the middle. That was my job more, and singing.
I love that.
So do I. I love it even more because I think back to a time where we went to, I think it was a Lauryn Hill concert, and I think people that can do all those things, when it comes time to be on stage, you know how to direct each part of a band, each part of everybody, that your dancers, and that's kind of what she was doing. And from that I learned, I was like, that's because she knows how to do so many different jobs. And if you know that, when it comes to your production, it just comes out effortlessly on stage to the person like me who is watching. That is great. Now your project is called, and I don't want to get it wrong, but it's called Kairos. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, it's
good. I did good.
She was sweating she was gonna pronounce it wrong.
I was like, I'm gonna get this wrong. But then I read that it means in Greek appointed time.
So
what was the inspiration behind naming the project that? How did that come about?
We heard it, my sister and I, we heard it in a sermon of T.D. Jakes. And I remember my sister turning around and saying, wow, our life just was flipped 360. Nobody knows it yet, but it feels such like a Kairos moment, like what he's talking about. And she looked at me and she's like, why don't you feel like it's a beautiful name for the project? And I was like,
aha,
that's it.
Because we worked for so long, for more than, with her 11 years, but before her, I think it's in a total of 16, 17 years of, studying at the conservatory, doing a lot of music education, just working here in the music industry. And the dream was seeing you guys, coming to the States and be among the Americans, yeah.
So what are some of the details about the new album that you have that you're getting ready to give to the world?
Is that a trick question? You want me to get in trouble?
I mean, what can you tell?
What can you tell us?
What can we know? Listen, I can turn my notifications on. I'll wait, but if you can give us something to hold us over.
Well, I can definitely say this. The project before this, there wasn't a conscious featuring. The featurings that happened was Ghostface surprising me, one, and Rick Ross, that was a surprise too, from the label to me. So this project is going to have conscious collaborations with people that I really respect and admire musically. Next to that, we will still take you in a few songs on the sample journey, but there will be a fresh breeze within the musical compositions as well. So it's not like from hot to cold, but we're shifting the degrees a little bit here and there, and it's gonna have a different taste, but it's still gonna be really good soul food though.
I am excited.
I think that's perfect timing for some music like that. With the climate of the world, we could use something that's meditative and peaceful and not scary.
Now, I want to switch gears just a little bit, because now, what is your background?
Do you mean where my parents are from, or?
Right.
Okay, so my mom is from Curacao, which is a Dutch, or was a Dutch island, was colonized by the Dutch people. My dad is a Dutch man. And that's pretty much the story. And if we're gonna go in deeper into my mom, obviously there are a lot of cultures combined, but that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So with everything that's happening, as far as America, I sometimes want to know how other countries and other places view what is happening here when it comes to like the Black Lives Matter movement and how it's affecting, because after George Floyd, it just seemed like everywhere across the globe started protesting. And it's something that I think people from the 60s, when I talk to my mother, she says like she never would imagine in her wildest dreams that people across the world would be marching. When she was a little girl and she was marching, it just wasn't a thought to them like that. So I want to see, like, what do people in other countries think about it, and how have they been involved, or what is the perception?
Well, I believe that everybody here, or at least the ones that are awake and free and no longer bound to the colonialistic mindset, everybody's fed up. Those people are fed up. You definitely have a few house employees who still have that house employee mindset because they to take care of me in so and so a way. But a lot of people are fed up. A lot of racists are showing their true color on television right now. I don't know if you ever heard, there are certain things we deal with, for instance, a black Pete, where there's a black face. And there's a lot of protest because people are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and we want change.
Right.
And it's not like we have to fear for our lives in this country, because that's not it. But it's an institutionalized way of racism, whereby if your complexion is darker, you will have to fight way harder. And even if you fight harder, already keep in mind that maybe you're not going to get it anyway, even though you're the best. And people are tired of that, tired of the jokes. Oh, it's just a joke. Tired of being treated or making racist jokes, and we just have to take it because, it's not that bad. So there's a lot of protests. And people, I don't know, I feel like the whole world is on fire. And the only way it's going to be, how do I say that correctly? The only way it's going to be removed, the fire, is by justice. So the no justice, no peace, I feel like that's also in every country, especially my country as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we're getting to that place where I think a lot of people not all people in government, but a lot of people in government are getting to that place where there's no tolerance. At the point that something happens, they're starting to be a lot quicker response to handling it. And it's probably a lot of the attention across the globe that people have noticed. And it opened my eyes when I'm watching people in Paris and England, and they're saying that they have similar stories to stories that we have here in America. And I guess when I think of those places, I don't think, the ignorance of me, I'm not being educated from the American education, but I don't know about those things. So it's very much an eye opener. And that's why I was like, I seen a video from the Netherlands protest, and it was a lot of people. And I was just like, well, what is it like there? No, you definitely helped me clear that up.
What really good,
since we can't travel and all.
Right, since we can't go nowhere.
yes, and I think it's really good to know for all Black people around the globe is that everybody that is Black and is not living in an African country came there the same way as every American came in America.
Right.
That's actually the story, because I said it's that my mom's heard that her great-great-great-great-grandfather, he was brought to the island, and maybe his brother was brought to the States. We don't know. Mm-hmm. So that's actually the way it went, and all the Black people you see in France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, England, we all had that same journey. And in America, it's still like it's the most fresh over there. It's not that it's not here, but it withered, the aggression of it. Mm-hmm. But they're like, it's different in a sense.
What are some of the differences that you've seen from living here to living there, to living in the Netherlands? Like, what are some of the differences that you've experienced?
I personally, because my sister, she is from Ghana, and she has a dark complexion. She's even darker than you. So I don't know if that's a bad thing to say in America, but we can say that over here. No. Because nowadays I have to think about how everything I'm explaining,
Listen, over here we are pro melanin.
Okay, good. And you know, sometimes when I walk on the street with her or I drive in a car, the whole time I'm so super alert and in a sense ready to jump just because I know that they don't think about she's from the Netherlands. She's the business partner of, next to that, my best friend, next to that, my sister. They don't think about that. You know, so I definitely had a few moments whereby I had to change my posture in a sense of bodily because I'm 6 feet and she's short, you know, like covering her, letting her walk at the other side. So it's like unconsciously I came back and was like, whoa, I don't do that here. Like protect you in that way. And that's one of the biggest differences I experienced, just having the need to, you know, be a shield because I'm half white between her and when I see a police car, those things, yeah.
Yeah.
Want to stay tapped in with you. We love everything we've heard so far. Listen, Precious got our email.
Right, she got our email.
We're going to have to bug her for some exclusives, some leaks or something. You know, I'm not DJing up, but I do a little ditty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, girl, we
let us know.
We ready to work. But listen, if they have not like tapped in with you, if they don't know all the music and what you got going on, we want you to tell everybody how they follow you, how they stay up with you, how they just watch everything you got going on.
Well, you know, you can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Just type in the Nicole Bus. It's Nicole BUS, and yes, it's my legal name. You know, just type in that. I'm not the only one. Don't ask me why. But if you see artists, just follow the Nicole Bus. You know, and keep an eye on it. Sorry?
I said follow the blue check. We're gonna follow the blue check, the one with the blue check. Well, we appreciate you talking with us so much. It was a beautiful conversation. We definitely want to stay tapped in with you. And congratulations on everything. I know you got some awards under your belt and all that good stuff. So much love to you, babe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. God bless y'all. Okay, stay safe.
You too. You too. And let us know when you're back in the States.
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Thank you for watching. Now make sure that you watch all our videos on our YouTube page. Subscribe right now. Word Crush with a K.